Today's the big day. Today's the big day. I finally leave my yard. Ah, never mind. Maybe tomorrow. Hi, everyone. This is Mark from An American in Russia. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, in a minute, you'll understand what that whole opening scene was all about, but it'll take a minute before I can show you or explain it. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you. Last week, I was just blown away. I had more than 1,300 new subscribers on that one video that I posted. And trust me, I understand it's not because of the great compelling content that the video contained. I understand that somehow I just happened to hit on that elusive YouTube algorithm. And I don't know, I suspect I hit on it because in the title I had two different words. One was Russia and another one was suck. And that was my guess. And I had a couple of my listeners who also said that they thought that's what happened. In my last video, I asked all of you for some ideas of maybe what I could do to improve my channel. And the ideas ranged from very good all the way to, well, let's see, quit YouTube, you're boring. Okay. One comment from a person who's actually been watching my channel for 2 years or so already really kind of struck me. Let me read his comment. In all honesty, it must be hard to make compelling, interesting videos if you don't leave the house or are not willing to share footage from those times that you do leave the house. I love Russians. You're blunt, but you're very honest. He has a good point, though. I do love my yard. To me, it's like my own personal park. But I understand and I realize that I have to show you something other than my fruit trees to make this channel interesting for you. Now, that was the reason for my opening scene, showing me getting brave enough to actually leave my yard and then losing my courage at the last second and putting it off for another day. Well, today's the other day. By the way, speaking of bluntness, I had so far more than 750 comments from all of you. It's wonderful. I've tried to answer as many as I can, which is actually probably most of them. I had a couple of comments that would fall into the very blunt category. These comments were in the realm of, you're very fat. You're a very fat man. I read that and I went, huh? So I went into I left my living room where I was reading the comments, and I went into my corridor near my front door where like any good Russian, we have a very, wall, floor to ceiling mirror. And I looked in the mirror. First, I looked head on in the mirror. Then I turned sideways. And again, I looked in the mirror. And you know what? These two commenters, they're right. They're right. And I just realized that I usually don't look in the mirror. So thank you for your bluntness and thank you for bringing that to my attention. Maybe I'll make some sort of a seasonal arc story where I try losing weight and each week I keep you posted. Actually, I'm going to try to do that. If you don't hear me do that anymore in any of my following videos, you know that I'm a miserable failure at losing weight. In a moment, I'm going to leave the yard for real. Seriously. I'm going to show you around my neighborhood a little bit. I really like my neighborhood. My wife and I both worked very hard to be able to live here and to build what we have. And I'd like to share that with you, share some of my thoughts. It took a lot of hard work to get to this point in our lives, but I want to give you what I'm what I consider an alternate view of a living situation of a Westerner who decides to come and live within Russia. It will be a little bit of an alternate view, but remember, this is my reality. And while we walk, I think maybe I'll start a little bit on the story of when and why I came to Russia. So let's go. Come along with me. Okay, so I'm just going to take a kind of a short walk down my road. One of the things you'll notice is that ah, nearly every house has a fence, usually about 2 meters or 6.5 feet tall, kind of a privacy thing. And it is nice. So you don't really know what people's yards look like, you know? It's still nice. Now this particular neighborhood I live in it's quite middle class. Other neighborhoods where the houses are huge, they're mansions. This one here, they're smaller, but they're still decent size. 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, I would say, most of them. The lots aren't huge here. They're about a third of an acre each. And I'd say that's another reason why the 2 meter tall privacy fences between them. But as I said, it's a kind of a middle class neighborhood. It's nice. It's also a dead end. It's not a through street. So pretty much any car that comes down here is somebody who lives down here or is visiting. Now I'm going to turn around. The road ends not that much further ahead, but this video is getting a little long, and I also promised to tell you a little bit about why I came here to Russia. So let me do that now. I came in the year 2001. Now I met the girl who later became my wife back in the year like 1999. I met her in America. I'm going to tell you a few things, but I'm not going to tell you much about how we met. It's a lovely story. It's a romantic story. It's an adventurous story, but it's our story. I keep that private. It's sometimes with a couple, you like to have something that's private, and that's our private thing. But anyhow, outline, we met in 1999 in the United States. We kept in touch, developed a bit of a relationship. I came to Russia a couple of times to visit my wife and to travel to some other places in Europe with her. And then I just felt, and she felt, that we wanted to just be together. So I started paperwork in the United States to bring her to America as my fiance, a fiance visa. And I had pretty much everything turned in. But then something happened that halted immigration for quite a while. Um, it, it, I, Everyone remembers September 11th, World Trade Centers. That happened at that point. So they shut down immigration for a while. And if nothing else, a lesson that I took from the World Trade Centers is that day more than 3,000 people were going to work at the World Trade Centers or at the Pentagon. It happened on a Tuesday. They had just finished their weekend. They have their own thoughts and plans that they were thinking about. And before the day ended, all their plans were gone. Their plans and their plans with their family and plans with friends, plans at work, plans for promotion. So it kind of let me know, don't just wait until you think the time is right, and don't wait until you're retired before you do something. If it's something worth doing, just do it now. And that's what my wife and I decided at that point. So I came to Russia, and well, we married here in Russia. That alone is a real story. It's a very, very involved story, but it's not a story for right now. So I came in the year 2001. I came because I saw that I wanted to be with this girl who would become my wife, and I saw that as the only real way that I could do it. And I didn't intend on staying. We didn't intend on staying, long. Maybe I was hoping I could stay for a year, but a year became two, became five, became children. Now it's 23, and I won't be going back. Hi, it's me again. I just keep popping up everywhere. I had a lot of great suggestions from some of you as to what I can do to improve the channel. Now, I'll incorporate many of these, and actually I've already had some of these incorporated. Now, one of my viewers reminded me that I've been here in Russia for a very long time. He suggested that I could do something very unique, such as comparing different aspects of Russian society and culture as they existed in 2001 when I arrived, and how these are now, kind of a then and now format. I'll explain things and how they may have affected me or how they may have affected others. I've been fortunate to live in Russia during some very, very interesting times. So look for this format starting with my next video. Now to address the thumbnail. Is it scary to live in Russia? Well, the short answer is no. I feel very safe almost, everywhere I go. I feel safer in a Russian city than almost any American city. However, Russia is not a place for the weak or faint-hearted. Change comes quickly here, regardless of whether you're ready or not. So don't be scared to come here. Be more scared about what might happen if you don't come here, because the world can be a very scary place. Well, until the next video, пока.